Good evening. Welcome to Sty Times. Hey, it's great to see you, folks. It's great to see. Always great to see you, folks. Yep, that's one of Sty's best times. Is Sty Times getting to hang out with you folks for an hour? Yeah, you betcha. Uh, I'm going to shout out the folks that have been over in that chat. They started a little early this evening, saying hi to each other and hi to the channel and me and I want to shout the folks out that they come in here so early and they make sure to let me know they're going to be around. That's so awesome. But Eileen Ballou, the fam, right away, she said, I'll be here. Metal music. He jumped in there right away, bumping the night. Yeah, if we knock over the coffee, that's a true bump in the night. Oh, yeah, that's a bummer bump in the night, isn't it? Me Dibble is in the house. It's great to see me Dibble every time. And then we had everything spicy all shared out. I want to thank you, Phil, for the share. That was awesome. This is your chance, folks. Hit that share button. Share it out on your all your social media. And then we had, let's see, who come in after that? Oh, Will the Rocker popped in there. Yeah, it's great to see you, Will. And we had, let's see, boom, 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 boom. Rebecca Felter. Hello. It's so good to see Rebecca. Yeah, and then there's Samantha Lee's Originals. Hey, sweetie. Oh, it's so good to see you. Donald Morris. Awesome. Always good to see Donald Morris. There's the Ingalls family. Hello, hello. Yeah. Um, and moving down the list here. Oh, Running Water popped in. Evening, y'all. Yeah, he must be parking his truck down south. Hey, Chrysler Imperial H. Hello, hello. Great to have you here. Great to have you here. Now, this evening's topic. This evening's topic is going to go all over the board. It's going everywhere. Boop, 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 boop. Um, to me, things that go bump in the night is always kind of a fun topic, and because there's so many things that go bump in the night. Yeah, the there's things that get bumped in the night because you heard something go bump in the night. How many of us, I'm sure every one of us, heard something? What was that? They got up, didn't turn the lights on, of course, and they hit the bedside table or the coffee table. And they rammed their shins right into something, and there's a real bump in the night, I'm telling you. All of a sudden, it ain't quiet. That bump didn't sound like much compared to you hollering because you nailed your shins against coffee table. The oh, Eileen, love you too, girl. Love you too. That's so kind of you. That is so kind of you. And like I always say, that goes such a long ways for covering my overhead for the channel, and especially this summer with a little additional overhead. Um, but you're such a sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you so much. And whatever you do, Eileen, don't overdo it. She has a bad habit of doing that. She sometimes she just gives and gives and yeah, she doesn't need to do that much. The but things that go bump in the night. I think the whole issue of yeah, me Dibble says I go bump in the night when I don't turn on the light. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. First of all, I want to kind of get into the roots of things go bump in the night. Where does that all come from? Where does that all come from? Well, I mean, things go bump in the night. That's prehistoric. I'm telling you, it's prehistoric. Cavemen, for crying out loud. Before they figured out fire. How do we get a fire? They just don't. They just, if bolt of lightning hit a tree and started a fire, man, they go and grab that and say, "We got fire," and then they oversleep and they don't have fire anymore. Um, the I'm going to get right back to the cavemen. I want to. Samantha Lee said, "I got Colin a new hamster yesterday, and that thing was on its wheel all night long. That went bump, bump, bump all night long." We're going to get into animals and the bumps in the night. Oh, that's too good, Samantha. That's too good. But it goes all the way back to the cavemen, for crying out loud. When they would hear things, especially at night, they had no light. They had no way to know, what is that? They would become familiar that, oh, that really loud purring sound, that means something thinks I'm dinner. So, yeah, that's a bump in the night they don't want. Oh, hey, Chrysler Imperial. Hey, thank you so much. Thank you. That is just so very kind of you. So very kind. Killer Creations, it's great to see you. Andrew Merritt, awesome. Welcome to the Sty Shack. So, back in ancient times, people would huddle together and somebody had to stay awake and listen for all the things that went bump in the night. Hey, Kathy, because for them, almost everything that went bump in the night wanted to eat you. And it was mentioned earlier. I don't remember who mentioned it. Me Dibble mentioned it, that the fear of the dark is where things that go bump in the night really, really have a big impact. I mean, yeah, we don't like the dark. People don't like it pitch black. We want to be able to see what we hear, right? And that goes way, way back. And it doesn't have to go very far back. If you didn't have light, you were scared. You were scared because you couldn't see what went bump in the night. So light was a very, very awesome benefit of fire. Now, I've heard all kinds of stories about, without fire, we would have never advanced because we needed cooked meat. Well, and then others say, well, without fire, we wouldn't have advanced because we needed the heat. Well, if you lived in a tropic area, if you lived in the jungle anywhere, or you lived in an arid region, you didn't need fire to stay warm, but you did need it if you're going to cook meat. Oh, well, of course you do. But the greatest benefit of fire was its protective nature. Now, we don't like things out there at night that go bump in the night, But the things that are out there that go bump in the night, most of those things, they don't like light. They're out there at night for a good reason, because that's their element. They love the dark. They love the dark. And I would not, back in ancient times, back where Sty was a young man. Yeah, back in my youth. Boy, when we got fire, Sty was just happy. I wasn't so scared. But it was not the fire itself, it was the light that predators did not like. They did not want to get into the light because they couldn't be stealthy in the light, you know? And over ages, man has learned that during the day, you hear a bump, right? You hear a noise. What do? You turn and you look in the direction of the noise. That came from over there, and you look and you watch. And a deer walks out, and you go, "Oh, it's just a deer. Oh, that's cool." Then you hear another bump. And you look. Ooh, that's a big old timber wolf. Oh, look, he's after the deer. He ain't going to come after me because I can see him. I'm ready for him. Okay. Hey, Tim, good to see you. Kirk Whipper, Voyager Center, coming in the house. Well, I'll tell you what. During the day, you hear a weird bump in the day, and you turn and you look. You turn and look, and you go, "What is it? Oh, there it is. That's what it is." But once the sun goes down and it's dark, the lights are off, that exact same bump, and you're going, "Whoa, whoa, have I got bumps, goosebumps? What was that? What was that?" You know, hey, Travis, Groovy Lava, Squirrel Medic, great to see you, brother. And it's the exact same bump you heard during the day, and you saw that. You saw what it was. And you just went, "Oh, okay, I know what that is." But you heard the same bump, and it's pitch black. And you're going, "Whoa, what's that? I think it's going to get me." And you're looking in the direction of the sound, but it does no good because it's dark, it's pitch black. So your mind's going wild. All of a sudden, that deer that came out of the brush during the day is a big old nasty grizzly bear, and he's out to eat you. I am sure of it. It doesn't matter that I'm just outside of Miami, Florida, where there's never been grizzlies, but I'm sure it is. Because it went bump in the night and I didn't see it. So it's whatever I imagine it to be. And that's the problem is us humans have got awesome imaginations. And oh my gosh, we can take a squirrel rustling in the leaves and turn that thing into the biggest, nastiest monster you could ever imagine. I heard it. I heard it out there. That went bump in the night. It's out to get me. Hey, Tuna Shogun, great to see you. Just taking a quick look. Travis, Groovy Lava Squirrel, saying that bump was just me stumbling around drunk in the middle of the night. And sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. Now, I've been out with the guys, and we're out fishing, camping, middle of the night after everybody been drinking too much. One of the guys gets up to go piddle out in the woods, but nobody else knows he got up to go do that. And somebody in their tent hears this stumbling around kind of sound in the woods. And the next thing you know, you got somebody yelling, "Bear in the camp, bear in the camp." And your drunk buddy's out there tinkling. And now he's wondering, are they going to shoot me when I come back into camp? And he's got to yell back, "It ain't a bear, it's me, it's me, it's me." Oh, stop that. You can't make things go bump in the night. Can't do that. Oh, you can't do that because you become whatever my imagination says you are. It's doggone Bigfoot, man. He's coming into camp. I can hear him now. He's going to come in here, grab my tent with me in it, roll it up, and he's going to haul me out in the woods and have a camper burrito. I'm sure of it. I'm sure it's Bigfoot because I heard him go bump in the night, you know. Um, that's it. That's it. Metal music. That if you're out in the woods, bump in the night can, for some people, can be very traumatic. I, I've been in the woods at night where it's almost dead silent. Now, typically, you're not going to get that except very early spring before the peepers come out. Now, here in the region I live in, you go out there right now. In fact, middle of the day, the other day, I was down at the campground, and holy God, you could hardly stand it. All of the frogs, man. Beep, 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 beep. Louder than the devil all day. And they'd do that worse at night. Um, but in the fall of the year, you get the same thing. It's very dead quiet out there in the woods. That's when you hear that deer walking through the woods because all the dry leaves are on the ground. But you're not hearing the bugs out there. You're not hearing the peepers, all the frogs, eep, eep, eep. You're not hearing that stuff. You're not hearing the birds. The birds quiet down at night. There's not a lot of birds remaining late fall. All the migratory birds have gone, and at night, the birds are quiet. If you're fortunate, you might hear a bird of prey. You might hear an eagle or a hawk, but the the yeah the yeah the every light is on in the house and out the outside lights on. Yeah. I've seen that. I've seen homes that are so lit up it makes you wonder how scared of the dark are they? You know, the loons in Minnesota. Well, and that's the thing. It's very early spring and very late fall. You don't hear the loons. Um, they're migrating out of the region. Yeah, I was born and raised in Minnesota, so loon song is just a given. It's a given. If you're not hearing loons, then you wonder what's going on. Now, here in northern Wisconsin, too, we have a lot of loons up here. But then it's hard to tell Minnesota from Wisconsin at times. But things that go bump in the night, most of the time, are nothing. Nothing to be concerned about. Nothing at all. There's this movie with Charlton Heston and Brian Keith called The Mountain Men. And there's a line in there that I like the best. It's middle of the night, and the two of them are sleeping in their camp, right? Their fire's out, they're sleeping. All of a sudden, Brian Keith wakes up and he's listening, and he can hear something out in the woods. And he grabs his gun. And Charlton Heston says, "What are you doing?" He says, "There's Indians out there going to get us, you know." Charlton Heston says, "What are you talking about?" And he says, "Didn't you hear that? That sound in the woods? There's something out there." And Charlton Heston said, "Well, of course there's something out there. There's always something out there. There's deer, there's rabbits, there's bears, there's all kinds of critters out there. There's always something out there. Doesn't mean that you're being set up to be attacked." Well, it ended up being that, yeah, there was some tribal folks that were coming in to steal their horses. And, but like Andrew's saying, it's amazing how your mind can play tricks on you when you can't see in the dark. It is. It is absolutely amazing. It's like I said, when you're hearing sounds during the day and it's bright and you can see without a problem, those things don't scare you so much unless it's something you absolutely know is a threat. Now, if you hear a bear growling and roaring right behind you, yeah, you're going to be zipping up a tree, you know. But if all you hear is thump, 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 you're going to turn around and see what's thumping, right? Things do go bump in the night that are perfectly harmless, you know. Not everything that goes bump in the night is out to get you. The oh, I got one example that now we were on vacation. Well, I should say I was on vacation. I wasn't married at the time. I went with three other people. We went to a cabin and spent a long weekend, a four-day trip um, at this remote cabin. Loved the place. It was beautiful. Cabin's very remote. No electricity. So we're using Coleman lanterns in the place and stuff, you know. Well, it was time to call it a night. We shut all the lights off. Everybody's in their bunks. No more than get in the bunk, and all of a sudden we hear, and I went, what the heck? I heard it again. There's a knock at the door. Tap, 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 tap. And it stopped. And I'm like, who the heck is out here way in the middle of the woods coming to this cabin? Nobody should know that we're even here. And then you hear it again. Knock, 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 knock. So I'm saying to the other guys, hey guys, you hear that? Somebody's knocking at the door. And they're going, yeah, we hear it. We're here. Go answer it, they said. I said, why should I go answer it? They said, you go answer it. I said, we don't know who the heck it is. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to the door. I hope the door's locked. And they're all of a sudden, I don't think it's locked. Well, then I got brave enough, sneaking across that cabin floor in my socks, trying to be as quiet as I can, get to the door and click, hurried up, locked it, run back to my bunk. And it's quiet out there now. Whoever it is isn't knocking anymore. The next thing I know, there's the knock again. Knock, 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 knock. Quiet. Knock, 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 knock. Finally, I told them guys, I said, that's it. Got to answer the dang door. Find out who's out there knocking on the damn door. So I go to the door and I went and I grabbed myself. There was a big piece of 2x4 at the back of the cabin leaning against the wall. I grabbed that. I figured I'll use it like a baseball bat, you know. So I go to the door, hear the knock, unlock it, open the door, and I go, what do you need? And I'm looking. There ain't nobody there. I step out, I'm looking around, can't find anybody. Hey, Saltwater Born, it's great to see you. Dojo Allotment Specialist, awesome to see you. And so there's nobody out there. I closed the door and told the guys, I said, there ain't nobody there. They must have run off. I no more than got back to my bunk, and there's that knock again. I said, that's it. I said, I'm not going to answer the door until during the knock. And I walked back to the door, and I got that big old chunk of lumber in my hand to hit whoever it is. There's the knock. Whip the door open. And here's a big pileated woodpecker, and he's right on the door frame. and he's pecking bugs off of the door. We spent a good half hour, 45 minutes, scared to death that there was some serial killer at our cabin door. And all it was a woodpecker out there eating the bugs off of the front of the door. Oh no, boy, our imaginations went wild. Absolutely wild. Things that go bump in the night. 4 young men, brave as sin when the sun's up, but boy, I tell you, you get in a pitch black cabin and have someone knocking on the door in the middle of the damn night, and nobody should be there. All of a sudden, all 4 of you, yep, it's Freddy Krueger for sure. I'm telling you, it is. It's Jason. We're dead. We're dead. Yeah, Will. Yeah. The woodpecker, I don't think the woodpecker had a clue why we were so upset. He was just having himself a bug snack, and we were acting like 4 totally panicked adolescents. The things that go bump in the night. Yeah, B. Dibble says a woodpecker was my second choice because B. Dibble had said, was it a raccoon? The raccoons, yeah. The yeah, their main diet are tree grubs. Yeah. The pileatids up here, they love going after dead standing pines because they got them great big old pine grubs in them. And you watch the pileatids, and if they find a dead pine that's got a bunch of those in it, man, they'll tear that tree to pieces, get all those big grubs out of there. That's another thing. If you're out in the woods and you're camping in the middle of the night, it is not uncommon to hear way off in the distance what sounds like somebody knocking 2 large pieces of wood together. Clunk, 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 clunk. Clunk, 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 clunk. And so many people that haven't experienced it enough, they swear up and down, that's Bigfoot communicating. That's a couple of Bigfoots communicating with each other. No, it's not. It's woodpeckers. It's woodpeckers. Hey, we're coming up on the halfway point. I've got to shout out all my wonderful channel members. These folks, they really help to make the world turn here at the Sty Shack. So I got to run this quick. It only takes about 1 minute, just a hair over a minute. And there's some very wonderful channels. So if you get the opportunity, you see one you don't recognize, go check them out. Here they are. It only takes about a minute. Don't go anywhere. Thank you for your patience. Those are all just wonderful folks, wonderful folks. But back to things that go bump in the night. We're going to come out of this for a minute here. I had this big, beautiful Victorian home that I was renting, my ex-wife and I. It was, we had a bad habit of having really large homes. We had two during our marriage, two very large, oh no, actually three very large Victorian style homes. Well, the one we were in was actually built in 1856. Boy, that was a beautiful home. Oh, that was a beautiful home. You come into the home and it's got a big walk-in kind of foyer. Huge. It was really a huge room. Bigger than most people's living rooms. Then you walked into the main living room. Then you walked into a big dining room. Then you walked into this huge kitchen. And and beyond the kitchen, there was a bathroom. But then there was a staircase. Awesome, beautiful oak staircase with fir plank steps. The whole house the flooring was fir, not fur on an animal, fir trees. It's a pine. It's a type of pine. Beautifully polished hardwood floors throughout the whole house. Beautiful, beautiful. And this big staircase went up about half because the ceilings in that place were a full 10 feet, both floors. And it was like 2.5 stories tall. But the staircase, it would go about 6 feet up. Then it turned and it went the rest of the way up to the second floor. And I'll tell you what, that house, during the day, we could be sitting in the living room. Now, the staircase was in the den when you first walk in, the big foyer type den. That's where the staircase went upstairs. And that's where all the bedrooms were. And another big bathroom. Well, if you were sitting in the living room, during certain times of the day, you could hear someone coming down those stairs. Dun, 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 down the stairs. If you waited about an hour, you'd hear whoever it was go back up the stairs. Dun, 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 all the way up the stairs. Now that was freaky enough. You hear that during the day, right? Now at night, you're in bed. Hi, Native Grammy. You're in bed, and it sounds like you've got someone. It almost sounds more like the footsteps of a kid running up and down the stairs. Well, I'd come out of our master bedroom and I'd go, look, middle of the night. Who the hell's on my stairs? Somebody's in the house. That went on for over a month. And I kept trying to catch whatever's coming up and down them stairs. We got a spook in the house or something. We got an intruder sneaking in here at night. We got a spook coming up and down the stairs during the day. Had to figure it out. That had both my wife and I spooked. I mean, we were really, it was freaking us out. Where I was saying, I'm willing to give up this house. Let's go get a different house. This house, it's haunted, man. It's full of spooks. Well, in that staircase where it went up to the first landing and turned and then went out the rest of the way up, there's a big, tall window, right? I finally figured it out. As the sun would come past the house in the afternoons, That's when it always happened, was right around late afternoon, mid to late afternoon. We'd hear the dun, 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 down the stairs. And then it was closer to evening, you'd hear dun, 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 going back up. What was happening is, as that we didn't have curtains in that window. It's just on a landing, and it's way up off the ground outside. It's the bottom of the window is 10 feet up. And what was happening is as that sun went by, the sun would hit the top of that staircase. And as it's progressing, going by, the sun would drift down the stairs. It was each step would expand from the heat of the sun as the sun's going by. And it, because the window was so narrow, it happened rather quickly. Well, then when the sun would get to a certain degree, as those stairs cooled off, they'd just repeat it, but the opposite direction. That's it. Well, that the house was moving because of the expansion of the wood with the direct sunlight on it. But it sounded exactly like somebody coming up and down those stairs. Well, that didn't answer the sound of what sounded like kids running up and down the stairs all night. Well, then we finally figured it out. That staircase at night, I had the heat in our house zoned so that the heat downstairs would shut down, and we'd only have heat up in the 4 bedrooms upstairs. Why heat the whole ground floor to be comfortable when you're not even using it? And in the morning, that heat would come back on, bring the downstairs up to temp before you headed down in the morning. But what it was is when that heat would shut down, those stairs would contract because they're cooling off, and it would, those boards were just going and it would do it for about a half an hour until the temperature would finally stabilize. So no, we didn't have spooks. We didn't have kids running up and down the stairs. There was a reason for all of it, but they were bumps in the night, and we couldn't see what was causing them. So we allowed ourselves to get all hyped up over it and nervous. That's just our fear of the dark instincts kicking in. Yeah. There's always something that goes bump in the night. Oh, you got a neighbor with a peacock that sounds like it always says help. Yeah. My ex-wife, this totally freaked her out. When we moved to northwestern Montana. Now, one thing people don't know, unless they've experienced it actually, or they've heard a recording of it, is that bobcats, lynx, and mountain lions, all of them, they've got this mewing sound that sounds like a baby crying. Now, the mountain lions out west, I've heard it dozens of times, and it sounds just like a little infant baby crying off in the woods. You'd swear there's a baby out there crying. We moved up into the backcountry, and the very first time she heard that, she's yelling at me, there's a baby out there. There's got to be somebody out there with a baby. At least I hope somebody's with that baby. But what would they be doing here? We're miles and miles and miles from any civilization. It's just the wilds. And we've got grizzly bears, mountain lions, all and timber wolves, coyotes. And there's a baby out in the woods. Sty, get out there and find that baby. And I tried to explain to her, I don't want to find that baby. And she said, why? You got to go check on that baby, find out what's going on. I said, it's not a baby, it's a mountain lion, for crying out loud. I'm not going out there chasing down a mountain lion's cries. Well, that haunted her and haunted her and haunted her, because 2-3 times a week she'd hear that baby crying in the woods. Just by chance one evening, we were just sitting out stargazing. It was a beautiful, clear night. Beautiful. And we're just sitting out in a couple of chairs, enjoying the evening, looking at the stars. And then you could hear that baby crying, not very far away from us. And she swore up and down. She said, now you convince me that's a mountain lion. Well, it was a full moon. You could see really well that night. Very well. What comes out of the woods in the clearing down front of our cabin, way down in front of our cabin? Here, right out of the woods, right to the edge of that clearing is a big mountain lion. And that mountain lion all of a sudden starts with that baby crying mew. And I said, there it is. There it is. She was amazed, shocked, and totally relieved. Totally relieved. I thought for sure some serial killer was abducting babies and bringing them out in our woods out here. And I told her, I said, that's where Bump in the Night is counting on us to have wild imaginations. And again, it's because we can't see where that sound is coming from or what's making it. Our imagination is going to decide what that is. You're darn right. It may sound like help, but when it's 2 inches from your ear, it's pain. Yeah. Now that you're talking about that, Will, I'd swear, I think that was a peacock, where somebody had pointed that out to me. I think we were at a park that had peacocks, and someone pointed out to me that peacock's yelling for help. Now that come to think about it. Oh gosh, yeah. Oh, peacocks, if they're right next to you and they start hollering. Yeah, that's ear piercing. Yep. Hey, John Timmer, it's good to see you. Yikes, this is not the greatest story for me before my camping trip tomorrow. They're not. Don't worry about it when you go camping. Don't worry about things that go bump in the night. I always tell people, I've had so many bear incidents with black bears. Never anything that in camp, while I'm in a tent camping or in a hammock, never anything where I thought, that bear's going to get me. He's coming after me. He's going to get me. Never had a nighttime incident with a black bear, where I felt nervous. Now, grizzlies, fortunately, I only had one incident that was after dark, but that bear, it scared the bejesus out of me. Don't get me wrong. That bear was turning logs over looking for grubs after dark. And he was close to where I was sleeping, and I was cowboy camping. It was me and the dog. And I just laid there, and I could hear him rolling those logs over. And I looked down. I was camping like at the top of a ridge. This is out in Montana. And I could see down that ridge from where I was sleeping. I could look right down that ridge. And I looked down that ridge, and about maybe maybe 50 to 75 yards away, 150, 200 feet. There's a big old grizzly, and he's rolling logs over eating grubs. He did not. He did not catch wind of me, which was great. Was to my benefit that he never caught wind. I was downwind from him, so he didn't even know I was there. But I watched. I could hear him, couldn't see him, and I thought, oh, I hope that's a black bear. I hope that's a black bear rummaging around. And then when he got to where I could actually make him out in the dark, I'm thinking, oh, no, 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 no. He's about a 600 pound grizzly. I don't want him catching wind of me. And my dog, that dog was one of my best. He just sat there keeping an eye on that bear. Never growled, never made a sound, just watched him. Yeah, yeah. I have Phil's hot sauce to keep the wild critters at bay. That's it. Eat a lot of chili before you go to bed. Then you got something in the sleeping bag going bump in the middle of the night. Yeah, chasing a black bear out of camp by singing "Happy Birthday" to it was tons of fun back at Philmont 2017. Walked up to us while eating breakfast. Had to snap out of our shock before we started to sing. Yeah, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. That is true. I'll do that in certain places where I know there's a lot of bear activity, especially if I got sows with cubs in the area. I walked out, and I can't sing worth a darn, but boy, I sing my heart out hiking down the trail. Scares all the bears away. And I think it's my quality of singing that actually drives them off. Now, here's one. I don't want to be a bear burrito. Yeah, right. Yeah. Camper Taco Tuesday for the bears. Yeah. Just taking the things that go bump in the night. Here's one for you that I had a couple of acquaintances of mine that that they weren't used to the Northwoods at all. And they came up and they stayed out at the Sty Shack with me, two folks, and it was bitter cold, bitter cold. They were pleasantly surprised to find out that my wood stove in the Sty Shack kept it 75 to 90 degrees in the dang shack all the time. You spent all winter wearing shorts and a t-shirt all day because it was so warm in the Sty Shack. But these folks, never being in the North Country, middle of the night, all of a sudden you hear, boom! Holy God, both of them jumped out. They just, all of a sudden, they're turning the gas lights on and they're like, what in the heck was that? Somebody shooting at the cabin or something? I said, no, go back to sleep. Don't worry about it. They said, didn't you hear that? I said, yeah, I heard it. Don't worry about it. And then there comes two more. Boom, boom. And they sound like rifle shots. And they go, somebody is shooting at us. And I go, no, they're not. No, that's just the popple trees out there. They go, no. No, you're not convincing us that some tree can make a gunshot noise. I said, no, it's the popple trees. A couple more went off. And they said, how can that be trees? I said, I had one of those thermometers, got the cable that runs outside and it gives you the outside temp and the inside temp. And And I said, look at that thermometer. And they said, what about it? I said, it's 25 below zero right now. I said, and just 2 hours ago, it was 0 degrees. It dropped 25 degrees in just a hair over an hour. The sap in those popple trees is quick freezing, and it's popping the tree. I said, if we could find the trees that just made those gunshot noises, you'd see a crack in them because the sap froze and it breaks the fibers in the wood in the tree, and it sets off that gunshot noise. They weren't convinced. It took a long time the next day for me to go through the whole process so that they could sleep the next night and just ignore those gunshots. It's once you know what it is, then yeah, it's not a bump in the night anymore. You know what it is. You don't have to worry about it. The first time one goes off like that, kapow, scares the heck out of you, even though you do know what it is. It's just like, you could go out and shoot every day, shoot a gun off every day, and then one day decide not to, and somebody fires one behind you, and you don't even know they're going to do it, and you jump. You know, yeah, things that go bump in the night. the I Oh, you've never heard that before, Chuck? Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Exploded. The tree doesn't blow apart; it just cracks, and it makes that almost like a gunshot sound. It's so close to a gunshot sound that the it's certain trees can be affected by dramatic drops well below zero. The sap will freeze in the tree, where typically the colder it gets, the sap will drop in that tree so that it doesn't damage the tree, so the sap doesn't freeze up. And now, like with maples, the sap flows quickly in a maple. But if you have an extreme drop in temperature and it's a smaller maple, it could have a lot of sap in the tree. And then all of a sudden it's got this extreme drop in the temperature and it freezes that sap in place. The tree doesn't have time to drain it out down. So it freezes in place and it breaks the fibers of the trunk of the tree. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to be where it's 25 below. I don't mind 25 below at all, as long as I'm inside of a nice cabin with a really good wood stove. I don't mind 25 below at all. I don't mind looking out at it. Yeah, look at that. It's colder than the devil out there. See, and that's the thing is there's, staying on topic, things that go bump in the night. There's a rhyme and reason to every bump in the night. And the problem for us is if we can't see it, our mind wants to define it, decide what it is. Sometimes you're better off just saying, yep, things just go bump in the night. Now, I'm probably going to hear an awful lot of bumps in the night this summer hosting a campground because people come and go out of their campers. You hear doors opening and closing. You hear footsteps, people walking down the campground road to the restroom in the middle of the night. So I'll be hearing all kinds of bumps in the night. And I'm ready for them. Hi, Deidre. good to see you. Uh, just blew my mind to pieces. This is going to be brought up around the campfire tomorrow night for sure. There you go. There you go. And that's it. Feel free, folks. Share my stories with anybody you want. Tell them around the campfires. Tell them around the campfires. I, if I was there, I'd be sharing them. So I'm not there. I'll be there in spirit. John, go ahead and tell them all about it. There you go. There you go. Me Dibble said the coldest they've seen was 21 below. It was a place I was working in industrial freezer. Oh, there you go. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things in the world. Okay, we're going to wrap this show up with me. Oh, thank you, Deidre. Thank you. With me giving you a quick preview of what to expect here between now and the 30th. There will be just six more Sty Times before Sty Times stops for the summer. Okay? 6 more to go, and then I'm off to camp. There's going to be 3 more around the campfires on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. 3 more before I'm out of here and on my way to camp for the summer. There's going to be, I believe, 2 more. Yes, 2 more Sty Story Sundays between now and the 30th. And then I'm on my way to camp. And on April 30th, I am going to have a stream. And I'm going to start that stream. It's on a Friday. I'm going to start that stream probably about 6 p.m. Central Time. So watch for that stream, because that stream is going to be, bye, I'm on my way to camp. Because after that stream, I'm going to try to get a good night's sleep and a good hour and a half before the sun rises. I want to be in my truck heading down to camp, because on May 1st, when the sun comes up, I want to be backing into my campsite. Then there won't be anything going on the channel until May 12th. On May 12th, I'll be doing a live stream right here from the studio, because I'll be coming back here, doing a live stream from the studio, updating everybody as to what's going on at camp and how things are going to work from that day forward. So I don't want anybody to go anywhere. So keep your eyes out for notifications. Ring that notification bell, and then you'll get notifications if I post a video or if I'm going live, especially after April 30th. Okay? Me Dibble likes the hotels more than camping. My brother, he believed in 5-star camping. It was a hotel. Well, I don't know that if anybody's going to be doing around the campfires on another channel or that type of thing or anything, but I would hope they wouldn't steal my show. But because that's not the end of those shows permanently. It's only while I'm in camp, unless once I have Starlink, once I get my equipment, then I'll go back to doing around the campfires, and then I'll do camp streams out of camp. They'll be live at camp. So around the campfire, Sty Times around the campfire and Sty Story Sundays are just going to be put on a hold until internet issues are dealt with. So, but until then, every Wednesday I will be having a live stream. Yeah, and that'll be like around the campfire. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, John, don't worry. I you won't miss me that much because I'm gonna still be here. It's just changing up. It's getting changed up, but I'll still be here. So I love all you guys. Beware of things that go bump in the night. And hey, if you watch the exit, you'll see what Friday's topic is. And I'll hopefully see you all on Friday. Take very good care of yourselves. Have a very nice evening, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye, folks.